just a phase. I'm a tomboy, not just a phase.
Hey, what's up? My name is Citi, and I'm proudly presenting to you tonight the Not Just a Phase Real Talk. So, I've been actually preparing for probably the last 5 years to start this show, and tonight I just decided that I'm going to go ahead and walk in my purpose. This may not be the best video, it may not be edited the best, I may not even finish it the way that I want to finish it. But the reason for my show, the reason I'm getting started tonight is because it's not about me. It's about somebody else out there that needs inspiration. It's about somebody else out there that needs encouragement. And I can tell you, I don't want to die with my gifts and my talents inside of me. It would be a shame. So, once again, my name is Citi. I'm the CEO and founder of Tomboy, Not Just a Phase Clothing. I first of all want to thank you so much for tuning in tonight, just showing your support. Now, I'm going to film, pre-record, and post and share this every Thursday night at 11 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So it definitely will be available for you to click on it and watch it anytime you want to after Thursday night at 11. And I want you to share it. Subscribe, please. Definitely subscribe. One thing about me is I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I was born and raised in Louisiana. I'm living my best life in Texas. Okay. So I'm getting started, guys. Like I said, I don't know who this message is going to be for tonight, but I'm just trying to encourage somebody just to get started. Now, when I look this way, I don't see anybody. I'm reading my notes, okay? Just so y'all know. Look, I do have a few notes, and I just want to talk about why my show is important, okay? This show is important because I'm going to talk about real issues, real topics, and some things that people just do not talk about, okay? We're going to talk about things throughout the week. I'm going to go through each week, and I'm going to talk about things that I've experienced, things I've heard people say, things I've seen people do, and we're just going to discuss it. Because sometimes I just wonder, like, who raised you? What is going on in your head? Why? And I just wonder sometimes if I'm the only person that thinks the things that I think and maybe even says the things that I say. So I'm just looking for an audience to where we can have some fun. I want to inspire. And I will say this, though. If we can't keep our comments positive, keep it pushing. All right? So this page, we're not going to bash anybody. If you bash me, I'm going to block you. And if we're arguing with other people under the comments, that will not be tolerated. I want us to have a good forum, a good conversation, have some fun. We'll be a little petty at times, but I want this show to be fun, inspiring, positive, and just spreading light and love. One thing about it right now, I think I'm getting started because this whole quarantine thing right now has just got people thinking totally different. And for me, I'm just thinking like, if my life were to end right now, have I done everything that I wanted to do? Have I accomplished mostly anything that I want to do? Have I walked truly in my purpose? So that question is for you too. Have you walked in your purpose? Are you walking in your purpose? Or are you walking in somebody else's purpose? And what I mean by that is it's okay to have a job. Were you born just to be an entrepreneur? Or were you born with greatness inside of you? Do you have a gift or talent, something that you would not charge anybody for, that you just absolutely love doing? That if you just did it, people would pay you? What are you here for? Have you asked the question? Have you asked God? And that's another thing. I am a believer. Okay. So if you're not a believer, this page ain't for you, because I will always give praise and reverence to the Lord in anything that I do. I will always do that. So I just want to make sure I make myself clear with that in the very beginning. I'm not here to preach sermons. I'm not here to speak on religion, but I do have a relationship with God, and I do acknowledge him in all my ways. Okay. So it took me about 5 years, y'all, five, to record this video. I have made recordings after recording. I have written things down over and over again. I've started different topics. I've talked to different friends. I've asked people to be co-hosts. I've had videos made as far as like little intro videos made, all of that. I've had it re-edited and edited. And the reason why I didn't post it was fear. How many of y'all are walking in fear right now? How many of you too afraid just to get started because you're worried about the opinions of somebody else? What I want you to do tonight is I want you to stop it. And if it's the morning time for you, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of the day it is that you're watching this, stop it. You were born again for greatness. You have a gift that nobody else has. You have a vision that God gave you and nobody else. It's time, this season right now is for people to start walking in their purpose. If you don't do anything else, get on your knees, lay on your back, stand up, look to the heavens, however you want to do it. And ask God, what is your purpose? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Because the gift is not for you, it's for somebody else. God gives us gifts to bless other people. That way he gets the glory always. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to somebody. Now, when you walk in your purpose, I heard Bishop Jakes say a few years ago, when you walk in your purpose, when you know your purpose, actually, you'll find your provision. And that comes with true prayer and an open mind and a sound ear, being able to ask God that so you can understand and lean not to your own understanding on this part too, because sometimes we can think that our purpose is one thing, but it's just something that we want to do versus what God instructed us to do. I hope I'm making sense to somebody right there, because I've been there, done that. Thought it was something that I was supposed to be doing, and it felt good. I felt like, yeah, God wants me to do this, but it was something that I really wanted to do. It wasn't what God had for me to do. And when I started to step back, and I had to hit rock bottom. I'll tell you something. When you hit rock bottom, I heard Les Brown, one of my favorite motivational speakers, say, if you fall on you, when you fall, try to fall on your back, because if you can look up, that means you can get up. I never forgot that. And that moment when I heard that, it didn't make sense right then and there. But as I started continuing in my journey, as far as realizing that I love sales. I'm an entrepreneur by nature. I was born to sell. I could sell a barrette to a bald chick, and I would teach her how to attach it to her head and make sure it don't fall off, just like that. So when I heard about falling on your back and looking up and getting up, didn't make sense right away. But as I started going through my journey in life, I realized that, hey, I've fallen, but I have fallen on my back, and I have continuously gotten up and kept pushing. And there was a moment in my life where I was just full of tears. And I'm like, God, what do you have me here for? What is my purpose? Why do I keep meeting dumb people? Why do I keep getting in relationships that just have, I don't even know what the point of the relationship was for. You know, I don't know. I'm saying these things because I want to be vulnerable and open to somebody, because it's somebody that's going to watch this and you're going to feel what I'm saying. And that's why I'm doing this, because if I can save one person from committing suicide, if I can save one person from giving up on their dreams, if I can save just one person from just walking away from what God has inside of them because they're afraid, I have done what I'm supposed to do. Now, like I said, I remember those times and I was just like, what is to come of my life? I'm unhappy. I don't know why I keep meeting people that hurt me, whether it be relationships or friendships. I didn't understand. And it wasn't until I truly got it in a real relationship with God. And it was just something on the inside of me. It was like, it's not for you. It's for somebody else. But I also got a peace that surpassed all understanding. You'll hear that. You hear that in church, but then you like, I don't really know what that is. It's something that you can't understand. It surpasses all understanding. So I got that because of God's love. Now, I'm going to move on to a few points. Again, like I told y'all, I don't see dead people and I'm not seeing ghosts. There's nothing sitting over here. I'm looking at my paper, okay? I'm going to be as real as I can be with y'all because somebody is looking at this and somebody's wanting to start a show. Somebody is wanting to start a business. There's someone to do something and they're thinking that they have to be completely perfect. You don't. You just have to get started, okay? Now, here's what I want you to understand. If you have a dream that's inside of you, inside of your head, you have a vision, when you going to pull it out and turn it into a reality? What you waiting for? Don't be ashamed to be who you are. Now, this page right here, let me get into that part. Because there may be people on my page that are heterosexual. I personally am not. And once upon a time, I used to be ashamed of who I was. I was ashamed of who I was because I was scared that I would maybe be abandoned by my parents, or that I wouldn't get the job that I wanted to get, or that I wouldn't be accepted into the organization that I desired to be a part of. But when I stopped doing all of that, being fake and just hiding from who I truly am, I'm a lesbian that loves God. I love God. You don't love God? Baby, what's wrong with you? Because he been too good to me. That part. Look, I'm going to add a little humor every now and again, too. It shakes my nerves. It is what it is. And if you know me, you know that's my personality. I'm not ashamed of who I am anymore. I will walk in my purpose. I'm going to praise the Lord. I'm going to love my wife. I'm going to love our kids. And I'm going to keep being me because that's who God made me. And anybody that don't like it and don't accept it, guess what? You're not supposed to be in my life. And I'm telling this to somebody because guess what? I done been through going to the churches and singing and putting on shoes that I can't barely walk in, or wearing clothes that I am not comfortable in, just so I can go and sing and be accepted to sing God's praises. That's not who I am. If I can't be accepted in a place where God says, come as you are, then I won't be going. Okay? I can sing praises in my house, in my car. I can stand outside and sing. But if I can't go into a church with the vest and the shirt and the pants that I want and the shoes that I want to wear that fit me, then I won't be going. I'm saying this to you because stop being afraid and ashamed of who you are. If I have to go on a job interview and wear a suit that I don't want to wear, a dress or a skirt that I don't wear, just to get the job, guess what? That job ain't for me. If I have to be in an organization where I have to pretend that my wife is my sister, my cousin, or my friend. So for all y'all that's pretending that your roommate, baby, we too old for that. If you over 30 like me and you still living in a place where you're with your significant other and you have to tell your mama or your aunties or other people that don't pay your bills, that's your friend, your little friend, you're not walking in your purpose and you're ashamed of who you are and you need to stop because life is too short to not live the life that God intended for you to live. Now, I'm not going to get into debating on whether I was born this way or I feel that and this is how I feel. It definitely wasn't taught to me. But that's another topic that we'll get into because I'm going to have a few people that I want to talk to about that. And we're going to open up the forum on that part. But right now, I'm just kind of freestyling some things and I'm just talking because I want you to understand just a little bit about me. I'm not afraid of who I am anymore. I'm walking in my truth because if I'm not accepted, I don't want to just be in a place where I'm tolerated. I choose to be accepted. And if I'm not genuinely accepted, I don't have to participate. Okay? So I hope y'all caught that. Now, the other thing when I talked about failing, if you've attempted something, if you've attempted businesses, like I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have attempted business after business after business. Have I been successful in majority of them? No, not at all. It wasn't the business fault. It wasn't coach's fault. It was my fault. And I can tell you now I'm having success in what I'm doing because my relationship has changed. My spiritual relationship is what I'm talking about has changed. The confidence to walk in my own truth, that has changed. I walk, I don't have to have a rainbow flag tatted on my head or on my arm or nothing like that to prove or to say who I am, but I'm just comfortable now in my own skin, and I'm not concerned about anybody making me feel out of place, because if I'm not welcome in your place, I have my own. So when I talk about failing in those businesses, I started to I got a real knack for entrepreneurship as a child. I was a person that I used to have those card. Y'all ever heard of the card table? You remember the card table? Not heard of it. You remember the card tables that people, mom and daddy, still playing cards on now? As a kid, I would flip the card table over. I'd get me a little. I had a frisbee, honey. I had my grandma checkbook, and I would take the legs of the table and pretend I had a BMW stick shift. My name was Felicia, and I was a businesswoman. Okay, and I was writing multiple checks because I had tons of income in the bank. No one taught me that. I just was born like that. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I think I was actually inspired. I'm gonna take that back. I was inspired by the Cosby Show. I used to want to be like Felicia Rashad. I was like, this is the black family where he's a doctor and she is a lawyer, and I was just truly inspired by that. And it showed that black people could have a different level of wealth that I didn't really see. So that's just a little more about who I am, my personality, and why I'm an entrepreneur and why I love doing what I do. But in the businesses that I have attempted, I learned something in each one. But it wasn't until one particular business. See, I joined different ones because I would read these different magazines, and I'm going somewhere with this because I'm trying to teach you something. I would read the different magazines on starting businesses. And I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anyone teaching me about personal growth and self-development. And so I didn't really know what to do. I just would sign up for something, try to sell it on my own. I would just basically consume the products and was never successful. Okay. And then I joined a travel club. And at that point, I had become a store manager for a company. And I was thankful that I got the position and thought I was living the dream life. And I signed up for this particular company. And that is when my mind unlocked. Okay. I learned there that there were so many people that were younger than me, so many young individuals, and they were living a life that I could only imagine. And I just didn't think it was real. And they had freedom. They were having fun. They didn't have anybody telling them what to do. They weren't just walking just a straight, narrow path. They were doing what they wanted to do and having fun doing it. And on top of that, they were making money. But the one thing that they did the most was they did personal growth and development. And that's how I learned to start growing. And I realized that, hey, I don't want to work for anybody else for the rest of my life. This is not what I want to do. But because I was scared and because I saw and heard people say all the time, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, stay in a safe place, get a job that has good benefits, I was too scared to walk in the purpose that God had for me. Anytime I would share something with someone that I felt was an influence over my life, they supported to an extent. And I'm getting somewhere. I mean, no disrespect to my parents, but it was always kind of like, yeah, but that, yeah, but that, yeah, but that. That but always made me doubt myself. It always pulled me back into a place of just being shy, reserved, and then just not giving it my all because I didn't think that I had the support or would have the support. So I strayed away and shied away from, again, walking in my purpose. And that's what the topic of this thing is tonight, is walking in your purpose. Excuse me, y'all. I'm just going to have a little sip. I got this one little piece of hair that's just, I don't know. I'm doing this because I'm human. And I want, again, somebody that's watching this to understand it's okay. It's okay. So the next thing I want to talk to y'all about is attachment. If you want to grow at all, if you want to, whatever it is that you really want to do, attachment, who you're attached to, it can't stop God from blessing you, but it most certainly can delay what He has in store for you. Again, who you attached to can't stop God from blessing you, but it can delay what He has in store for you. And I'm going to tell you about that. Like I told you, with the one business that I started out, I really started to understand and unlock my purpose, and I started doing personal growth and development. I started looking at things differently. I started to look at people differently, and the mindset, and just like, hey, I'm gonna work literally 40 years of my life and 40 hours a week, and I'm gonna retire with 40%, and really 100% is not enough. So if I'm gonna do all that, I might as well walk in my purpose, right? So I started dabbling in different business ventures, and I started having a little fun, and then I decided, you know what, this job, I started to hate my job. I really started to look at things differently, and I didn't want to get stuck there. I remember being at a meeting, one of my last meetings for the company I used to work for, and I looked around. This is probably gonna help somebody for real. I looked around, y'all. I looked at all of the women, and there was one man in there, and the top of their head, the hair was just, most of them hadn't seen a salon in God knows when. They had, and I'm really not trying to be funny when I say this either, but they looked a mess. They looked tired. Their faces, they looked older than they really were. They were beat down, wearing these big blouses that just was like grandma blouses, wearing pants that were way too big, not form fitting at all, nothing professional. We were all managers and store managers, to be exact. We didn't have a professional look because you couldn't work. You couldn't look the part because the job title didn't fit your description. We worked like slaves in there. We did a lot of stuff, and in their shoes. Oh God. The shoes. You wearing dress pants, a blouse, and a big tennis shoe, or a big shoe that looked like a SAS shoe, looking like somebody's 90-year-old aunt shoe or something like that, or a big short leg looking shoe. Honey, I was like, baby, this is not for me. I can't, I'm not. So that that last meeting when he walks to the front, I said, see y'all again, never. And one of the managers, she said, Citi, did you get a new job? I said, no, but this is my last meeting. And I meant that. I found a new job, and I applied really quickly somewhere else at that point because I was starting to have the excitement inside of me as far as like, I want to get out. I want to be free. I want to do something else. I want to walk in my purpose. I want to have fun. I don't want to keep doing the same thing and be stressed out and be threatened by a district manager that's always making people feel as if they're never enough, or that you're dangling our job, our paycheck, our livelihood in front of us because you have the authority to do so. Baby, you're not going to control me. And I remember he threatened me one day, and he said, hey, Citi, let me talk to you for a minute. And I said, yes, sir. And every time he would come to my store, I was never afraid of him. The other store managers would call and be like, hey, has he come to your store yet? And da da da. And I'm like, no. And when he get there, I would always have a case of water in my office. I would offer him a water. You know, that was the least I could do. And then that one day he called me outside. And the reason why he called me outside is because he didn't want to have any witnesses, and he didn't want to be on camera. So if I ever was to say anything or report him in any way, shape, or form, then he felt like he was getting away with it. But he said, let me ask you a question. He said, do you think you've arrived? Do you think you made it? Let me tell you something. I don't work for the company. I work for my family. And if any of y'all get in my way, I'll eliminate you. That right there, y'all, when he said that to me, I just said, yes, sir. I understand. That right there, that particular moment opened up something inside of me. I'm a Leo, and that lion inside of me just came out. It just like I was so mad on the inside because I was like, who do you think you talking to? But guess what? I didn't have a plan in place. So it wasn't like I could just quit right away. So I came home, I was pissed. Okay. I was heated because I felt like I just let somebody play with my livelihood. And I done gave y'all 10 years of my life. And just like this, you could take it away from me. So everything that these people in the network marketing company are talking about is true. I started to finally see it for myself because for years I felt like I was important at my job. I felt like they needed me. I would work. Sometimes I go to work 5 o'clock in the morning and get off at 11 o'clock at night, just dedicated to my job. And then when I became a store manager, I didn't have to do that as much, but I still was dedicated. I'd get off of work and I was still working. I'm saying this to say you are disposable. If you're going to put all your work into a company that don't care nothing about you and that will replace you just like that, you could be putting that same energy into your purpose. And watch how God bless you and watch how he'll pay you for your efforts. When you do right, you got to do right. You can't just come out of that situation though. You can't walk into your purpose or feel like you're walking into your purpose and not give back, not bless the church or find somebody to bless, not give praise where praise is due and acknowledge him in all his ways. Okay. You got to do those things because you will fail if you don't. Because God is a jealous God. And sometimes we can get so ahead of ourselves that we don't take the time to give God the praise. Okay. We think that we did it and we did this. I. But it was God that blessed you to do those things. I'm telling you from experience because I got in a situation where I got so ahead of myself. And when I got ahead of myself, I stopped doing the things that I used to do. I stopped praying the way I used to pray. I stopped being organized the way that I used to be organized. I stopped sowing the seeds that I used to sow. You can't just bless God whenever you're happy when things are good. You can't do that. You gotta praise, when things are bad. You gotta praise him when things are good and when things are not good. Don't get ahead of yourself and forget about who blessed you and pulled you out of a situation when you do get to another level. So fast forward, I left from that place. I had a plan. I came up with something and I found another job. And I started working that. And I had fun. And I was like, man, this is somewhere I wanted to work my whole life as a kid. But to get on at that particular place, when I was younger, you almost had to have somebody die or retire. And then here I am again. I get blessed again with a position. But guess what, y'all? I worked there for 2 years. I had fun. But there was something in the back of my head. I had moved on into my network marketing and then I got into financial services. And I still kept hearing how you work a job and you're disposable. And I saw it happen time and time again with people. And then things started to happen and I was like, look, this is not what I was meant to do. And I took a leap of faith, y'all. I felt that God had told me to quit. I walked away from my job. I was walking to my car. I'll never forget this. I was walking to my job on May 8th of 2018. And I was irritated. And I just stopped and I said, you know what? I'm done. And I turned around and I talked to my boss and I said, yeah, this is it. I'm going to put my 2 weeks notice in. Because I was ready to walk in my purpose. But let me tell you something. I was supposed to do that, but the way I did things, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And the reason I'm saying this is because I talked to you just a few minutes earlier about attachment. Okay. I didn't forget about it. The organization that I was a part of is a phenomenal company. Wonderful company. I really, really enjoyed myself, had a phenomenal time, made some really good money in the company. And I really started to feel that I found what I really like and what I'm good at and where I could be comfortable. I found the style of dressing that I wanted. I found I found my comfort. I was comfortable doing what I was doing, teaching, mentoring, and leading and doing. I got comfortable with doing presentations in front of a room, stuff that I just never wanted to do before. I mean, things that I used to cry about. I had to have a good friend of mine showed me how to actually speak in front of a room. He sat here and practiced with me time and time again. Shout out to you, Rodney. I'll never forget you for that, man. If you ever watch this video, it's because you believed in me and you sat down on my ottoman and on the couch and watched me go over and over and over again, stand up in front of my living room to pretend that I was speaking in front of an audience and thousands of people. That gave me the confidence to be able to do so. So, I'll always give him a shout out on that, Mr. Rodney Guillory. But anyway, when I got into this new organization, and I won't be long, I'm wrapping this thing up. When I got into this new organization, who I was attached to, sometimes when you attach to the wrong thing that pulls you away from everything else and pulls you away from God, you're destined to fail. And that's what I did. I failed again, y'all. And it wasn't until I got over some things. I was very bitter. I was hurt. I was angry. I started to realize that like my personality started to change based on who I was attached to. I'm saying it because sometimes you can be attached to somebody and they'll have ways that you don't like, but because you're so connected with them, you'll start acting just like them and don't even realize it. Man, I had teammates that were in it. I miss so many of my teammates that were a part of the organization because we had such a phenomenal time. Shout out to my Unity soldiers. You know, if y'all ever take a chance to watch this video, I want you to understand that you're missed. I love you, and you're welcome to join me again because this time around, it's not gonna be the same. It's not. I have grown so much as a leader, as a person, as a spouse, as a parent. And it comes from personal growth and development, having a better relationship with God, detaching from things that you should not be attached to in the first place, and acknowledging your faults. This video has not even gone the way that I wanted it to go. It's going the way that God wanted it to go. So if you want to be successful, if you want to be able to walk into your true purpose, I just encourage you. I'm inspiring you and I'm encouraging you, and I'm just hoping that somebody is listening to me. Keep God first in everything that you do. Ask Him to order your steps in His Word. Make sure that you have a clear ear and you're not leaning to your own understanding, and He'll make the crooked places straight for you. I'm starting this show, not just a phase real talk. It's going to be fun, inspirational. I got a little petty side too. And like I told y'all, every week I'm going to go through the week and I'm going to jot down things that I see, that I hear, that go on. And we're going to talk about it toward the end. I'll say whatever I need to say. And then we're going to get into the petty part of the show. But it will always come back around to being positive, having fun, and just hoping that I'm helping someone to change their life in a positive way, to keep pushing, never stop. Love you for who you are, okay? Don't ever be ashamed of who you are. I'm telling you, when you start being free, true happiness is when you are free mentally, when you are free from bondage, when you are free from a spirit that is not of God. I had gotten so angry, y'all, bitter, spiteful. I wanted to get to the top so I could just show you. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. That's not the way to go. It's not the way to go. When you are hurt, that's when you need to be humble. Okay? You need to always remain humble. But what I'm saying is, don't let your hurt turn you into a spiteful individual. When I started giving more, when I started praying more, when I laid everything down, doors just started opening. I can't even tell y'all all the doors that have opened for me yet. I'm just walking in my purpose. I'm walking in this season. And even though we quarantine right now, guess what? God is still doing some amazing things. We still have breath in our body. We still have an opportunity to rise above and be great. So that's my time. I hope that I was able to touch somebody. I hope that y'all touch that subscribe button. I hope you tune in Thursday nights at 11 o'clock p.m. Well, I'm going to have it up and ready every Thursday night by 11 o'clock p.m. I hope that you tune in and share. I hope you love what you see. Comment, drop me some comments. Hey, if you want to help out, if you want to be on the show, if there's a topic that you want to discuss or you want me to speak on, go ahead and drop your comments below. I would love to read them all. And I promise you, I may not be able to respond to everybody all at once, but I will be writing all the topics that you want to talk about, and I'll expound on them. I'll speak on what I think, and everything that I'm saying is just opinion based. So don't take anything as facts. So I just want to make sure that that's clear when this airs. It's opinion based. It's my show, so I can say what I want to say. I'm not gonna call out anybody's names in a negative way or anything of that nature. I'm not gonna call out companies that I've worked for or organizations that I'm a part of. I will drop my Linktree link below. That way, if you want to make some extra income on a part-time basis, if you're looking to join a team, my team is called Unity Soldiers. If you're looking to join a team where you are accepted wholeheartedly, not judged, you're never tolerated, but accepted and loved, then this is the place that you want to be. I'm looking for people that want to earn extra income part-time, or if you want to do it full-time, or just anybody that's just looking to tune in because you just need somebody to help you walk in your purpose, somebody to encourage you, to lift you up, and to let you know that you are loved and that you are great and you were born for greatness. You are absolutely amazing. I want you to start saying affirmations. I want you to say things like, I am what God says I am. I'm more than a conqueror to him that loved me. I attract the right people in the right market. I am blessed. I'm highly favored. I'm a lender and not a borrower. I will be the first millionaire in my family. I will be the go-to person for my family. Start saying those things. Start speaking those things that be not as though they were. If it's something that you want, if it's something that you desire, whatever, however you want to say it, start speaking it. Things that you don't want, don't say it. We've got to change what we say and also change what we believe so we can have the things that God intended for us to have. This is my time once again. You can call me Citi. I love you guys. Stay blessed. And thanks 100% for tuning in to Not Just a Phase, Real Talk.